to fidget in order to listen to Mrs. Arnold and Miss S, now would be the time to have one. Okay? Okay. Do you guys remember the story of Jessie and the Beanstalk? No? Okay. Well, we've been using the story of Jessie and the Beanstalk to do our measuring. So remember our friend Jessie? Well, we have a bit more to add to the story. It seems that on Jessie's trip down the beanstalk, a little friend jumped off the leaf and into his backpack. It was a worm, but this was not any ordinary worm or inchworm like Jessie was used to seeing, like on our inchworm rulers. No, this wasn't a little inchworm. This was a worm of the land of giants. This was a giant worm. Does this look a lot bigger than our inchworm?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot bigger. So we know it's a lot bigger. The size is a lot bigger.
I'm sorry.
I have a few friends at my school that aren't listening. Thank you. What would you guys think if one of your friends pulled a worm like this out of your backpack? What would you think, Dora?
I would think that it would be gross.
It would be kind of gross.
And I do not want it for pooping in my mouth.
Yeah, that would be gross. Anthony. Eat it. That sounds nasty. Nate.
I would simply zip up the backpack, keep going down. When I get to the house, go onto the dirt, let it go, and I would zip I would zip up the backpack again, and I would go inside the house.
Okay.
I would simply just.
Because it would be kind of surprising to find a worm inside your backpack that's this size, right? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put your hands down. So Jessie and his friends were curious to know how much bigger was this worm than the inchworm. So I'm going to have actually a volunteer come up and measure what we're going to call our footworm. Kendall, can you come measure using our inchworm ruler? Okay, go ahead and measure. You can do it right here, yeah, but we're going to use this ruler, our inchworm ruler, to measure our new ruler. So like this. We're going to use this to measure this strip of paper. How many inches? 12 inches. So our new ruler is 12 inches long. How many inches are in a foot? Amelia? 12. 12 inches are in a foot. So we're going to call this our footworm ruler. Okay, thank you, Kendall. You can go take a seat. Okay, now I want you guys to estimate how long do you think our whiteboard is? Someone tell me, Samuel, how long do you think our whiteboard is?
4.
You think our whiteboard is 4 inches long?
What?
That would be really tiny. Do you think it's 4 feet? Maybe 4 of our footworms? That's a good estimate. Ireland?
I think it will be 30.
30 what?
39.
39 inchworms or footworms? Okay, so 39 inches maybe? Okay, Amelia?
Probably with the feet, it will be actually.
That's okay. Can I call in a new friend? Okay, Zachary, what do you think?
I have
Oh, what's your question?
the whiteboard under the whiteboard so much longer than that one. Can we count that part?
I'm going to count from here to the edge, so just this part of the whiteboard. Good question. What do you think?
29.
29 what? Inchworms or feet? Footworms. Inchworms. Okay. Last estimate, Sequoia.
I would say 8 feet.
You think our whiteboard is 8 feet long? Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna have another volunteer, Victoria. You can come up and measure our whiteboard in using our inchworm ruler. So this is gonna be how long it is in inches. 12. 24. All right, Victoria, how many inches is our whiteboard?
84 inches.
84 inches long. Okay, Victoria, can you choose a new volunteer that can measure using our footworm ruler? All right, now we're going to use our footworm, our new ruler, to measure the whiteboard. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. It was about 7 footworms long, right? 7 feet. All right. Thank you, Charlie. Okay. So, which tool? Can someone raise their hand and tell me which tool do you think was easier to measure our whiteboard with, Warren? Our footworm or our inchworm ruler? Our footworm? Why do you think that is? So we had to count a lot of different, we had to count many more inches than feet, right? What do you think, Charlie? Okay, so because it's a bigger tool, we'll have a smaller number, right? We'll use less of it. What do you think, Nate?
I think the inchworm because for me it's easy to count by tens and twos.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now I want to ask, which of these two, inches or feet, would you use to measure the length of our classroom? Autumn.
I would use
You would use the footworm. Why?
because I don't have to count as much numbers as Lauren said.
Mm-hmm.
I could just put it down, if I figure out it, and then multitask it back and forth. So I thought that would be easier.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the intern ruler could be easier. It's not exactly in feet, and I would have the number to mark it off. So they're both pretty helpful in the same way.
Yeah, they're both helpful, but this might be a little easier because it wouldn't take as many little inches, right? It would just be one whole foot. Okay. Would it take more or fewer inchworms than footworms to measure the length of the classroom? Nate.
It would take more inchworms because the inchworms are in 12s, but the footworms are in 1s.
Nice. Good job, Nate.
Can
So,
someone re-say what Nate just said in their own words? Because that explanation that Nate gave was a perfect second grade explanation. Who can rephrase or even just repeat what Nate said? Why did he say that using feet would be less than the inchworms? So I want you to look around. You had a student who shared an answer and said it perfectly, and there's maybe 5 hands up who feel confident enough to repeat that. You're listening when your classmates are sharing answers. That's how you learn. Sequoia, you feel confident? right, let's hear it.
Because Nate said that the inch won't go in 12 and the foot won't go in 1.
Nice job. Awesome, Sequoia.
Thank you, Sequoia. Yeah, so in other words, the smaller our unit, the bigger the number, right? So inches, there'd be a bigger number. And then also, the bigger our tool, or the bigger the unit, the smaller our total will be.
So this is the second time that you've seen this. On the checkup last week, Miss Arnold and I noticed the question that most kids got wrong was the one that asked which kid had the smaller number for the tool that they used. Which kid, when they measured the same distance of the classroom, which kid had the biggest number, and you guys flip-flopped them. You said the kid that used inches had a smaller number, and the kid that used yards had a bigger number, but is that true?
No.
No. What is the saying that I said? If I could teach you anything, yeah, you're so close, Sora. Okay. Do you remember what it is, Autumn?
Smaller the tool, bigger the number.
And what's the opposite of that?
If you're using a bigger tool, it's smaller the number.
Okay. So for example, if you're, it does take up more space. So the bigger the tool, the smaller the number. The smaller the tool, the bigger the number. So how many yards it took to cover the classroom? 5 yards. It's a big tool. 5 is a small number. Inches, it took 119 inches to measure the classroom. It's a small tool, so it's a big number.
Like Miss O saying, your yards is just 1. So if I only used it 5 times, whereas my inchworms, 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12. 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 12.
No.
This number is going to be much bigger than just the 5 yards. Adding 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12 gets me a very, very big number. Whereas the yards, small number. Do you have a question, Autumn? I'm sorry, sweet. Can you just, I can't hear you.
I think if my math is correct, I think that all the 12 together make 50.
How many 12s did I put there? 5?
Yeah.
It would be 60.
I knew.
Because 5 times 12 is 60.
Okay.
Alright, sorry, Miss Em.
Oh, that's good. Real quick, last question. If I were wanting to measure the length of my pencil, which one of these would I use? Maybe someone I haven't called on yet. Kayla. Inches. I would use my inchworm ruler, right? Why would I do that? Why would I want to do that?
Because maybe your pencil is shorter.
It might be shorter and it's more precise, right? I have smaller units. Thank you. Okay, so today we're going to be doing work in our our yellow bottom books. You will each receive one footworm ruler that you will use to answer the questions in your yellow bottom book. We will be doing this independently. We're working on this independently. Are we working on this with a partner? No, we can do this independently. So you're going to go through and you're going to see, how long is my pencil? You might want to pull your inchworm ruler out for this, because some of these might be easier to use your inchworm ruler for than your footworm ruler. So you're going to use either your inchworm ruler or your new footworm ruler to measure different things in your purple bottom book. Okay, I need my supply manager. Do you have a question, Samuel? Yes, so that's what I had just said. You're going to want to use your inchworm ruler and your footworm ruler for this, because there might be some things you need to measure that would be easier to use your inchworm ruler. Right. Oh wait, hold on 1 second, Riley. I have some friends that are getting their purple bottom, or they're in their yellow folders, getting their yellow bottom books out, and I haven't asked for that yet. So if you're under your desk, can I please have you take a seat for me? While you're moving around, I can't hear Riley's question.
No one was told to get anything out yet. So you're pausing whatever you're doing, whatever's in your hands,
Thank you. Riley, what's your question?
So it's like that foot worm ruler. Is it the whole ruler is 1 foot?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's why we call it our foot worm ruler. So it's 12 inches, which equals 1 foot. But you're going to want to use both your inchworm ruler and your foot worm ruler today. All right. Go ahead and get your purple bottom books out. Or sorry, I keep saying purple bottom. Your yellow bottom books out. And you can start on page 37. Go ahead and give one to each person.